I never thought my life would be so crazy. After all, I'm just a girl named Ashlyn living in a big city. But it all started one day as I was coming home from school. I was just whistling to myself and enjoying the sun when I saw a homeless woman begging for coins on the side of the road. She had a cane and wore sunglasses so I could tell she was blind. I couldn't just leave her there on her own, so I went up and talked to her. "Are you all right? You look a little weak."
I'm sorry, I haven't gotten any money at all these past few days, so I really haven't had anything to eat.
It broke my heart seeing her like this. So I helped her to her feet and took her to a nearby restaurant where I bought a full meal for the old lady. She ate hungrily and I paid for the whole thing and even gave her a few dollars after the meal. I hope this helps a little. I promise to come by again tomorrow and check on you, all right?
It's a promise. Thank you.
I went home feeling good about myself and the good deed I did. That night, I fell asleep peacefully without a care in the world. But when I woke up, I noticed something was off. I couldn't see anything wrong with my room, but I had a strange feeling that something had changed. That's when I saw it. On my desk, there was a small pad of sticky notes with a letter underneath it. I grabbed the letter and eagerly read it.
Thank you for dinner yesterday. Of all the people who passed me by on the street, you were the only one to stop. You passed my test, and as thanks, you can have this token of my gratitude. Use it wisely, and as long as you keep your promises and remain pure of heart, you'll be greatly rewarded.
I was stunned. I didn't mention my name to her, so how did she know who I was? In the letter, there was also a small instruction sheet telling me more about the post-it notes and their use. As I read it, I just couldn't believe it. According to the rules, these papers were magical, and my name was on the corner of every one of them. Anything I wrote on them would become true. According to the rules, I couldn't give them away or use them on other people, however, and I also could only put one item on each note. But I still didn't believe it. Magic didn't exist in our world, so these notes were probably just regular notes. Still, it didn't hurt to try, so I grabbed a pen and started to write on the first note on the pile. I wrote a simple request. I would like $5. As soon as I peeled it off the pile of notes, there was a small poof of smoke. When I was done coughing, lying on the table where the sticky note had been was now a crisp $5 bill. I had to make sure it was real, so I ran to the nearest convenience store and bought myself a bag of chips with the money. When I tried to give it to the cashier, however, it vanished when it left my hand. I was confused, bought the chips myself, and returned to my room and read the rules again. I couldn't give away the objects I made, which I guess included money too. I knew it was too good to be true, but even though I wasn't going to get rich off of these notes, but I could still create lots of things for myself. I got to work scribbling onto the notepad. I tore off page after page, creating a bunch of items for myself. I spent the entire day decorating my whole room with posters and rare figures from my favorite shows. I gave myself better clothes, better shoes, and even a better phone. Then I heard a knock at my door. It was my mom, and when she came in, she was bewildered by all of my new stuff. Isn't this great? I got a magical notepad, and I can create anything I want for myself. Watch this. I wrote down that I had longer hair, which was something I'd wanted for a while, and instantly my hair grew when I tore it off the pad. But that's when I noticed something else. I'd used up most of the notes decorating my room. Out of the 50 I started with, I only had 12 left. So I decided to save them for later. My mom was stunned by my new ability. She called in my siblings and father, and they were all just as surprised. I could become the richest person in the world, only I couldn't give any of it away or it would vanish. I was very happy with my gift, so I forgot about everything else in my life. I went to bed surrounded by the very best things. The next morning, when I woke up, something felt off again. This time, though, I knew exactly what it was. All of my things were gone. My posters, figurines, phone, and even my clothes and shoes had all vanished. I was horrified. How could all of my possessions have gone missing in one day? I ran to my parents to tell them we'd been robbed, but when they checked the rest of the house, nothing else had been taken except for the things in my room. That's when I realized something else. The notes were all gone too. I searched everywhere for them, nearly tearing apart the house until I realized somebody had taken it. I accused each of my siblings, and they all said they hadn't seen it. I knew they were lying, though. They were jealous of my notebook and took it for themselves, so I started to fight with them. We shouted and screamed at each other, blaming each other for what happened to my magic book. I even accused my parents of stealing it to make things for themselves. But everyone denied it. My brothers stormed off, cursing and telling me how much he hated me. That's when I decided I'd go back to the homeless lady and ask her for a new one to replace my stolen notepad. I found her in the same place as I did the other day, and I walked up, introduced myself again, and asked about the sticky notes. To my surprise, she pulled the notepad from her pocket. That's when she began to explain.
I gave this to you because I thought you were pure of heart and good. But you broke your promise to me and now you're tearing your family apart because of your greed. I took it back from you because you don't deserve it anymore.
I promised to see you yesterday, but I spent all day giving myself things. And then I blamed everyone else, and even fought them because I thought they had my notepad. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen.
I accept your apology. You've learned your lesson and I'll give you the notepad again.
She offered it back to me, but I refused it. No, you're right. I don't deserve that power. You keep it. All I want is one single note. So I took the pen and pad from the woman and wrote down my final wish. I want my family to go back to how things were. I tore the page off and it disappeared with a puff of smoke. Then I gave the pad back to the woman, gave her another couple dollars, and headed home. When I opened the door, my brother and the rest of my siblings were there to greet me. We all apologized to each other about the things we said and the way we acted, especially me. I let the notes go to my head and my family paid the price. But my last wish had worked and we were closer than ever now. When I went back to try and find the woman again, she was gone. I never saw the magical old lady again, but I knew she was still out there somewhere with the other 11 notes waiting for the right person to use them. Thanks for watching, like, share, and subscribe.